Hey stars, welcome to another Anime Dimensions video, and here we're gonna dissect how these players managed to make Anime Dimensions history in 2026. Here we go. As you can see, that's a lot of damage, and I have all the screenshots and all the connections. So, they almost killed the raid boss, as you can see. They did half of the damage. Clearly, they're not as strong as I am because they did not do even nearly as much damage. In fact, I was going to use math. So, as you can see, based on how fast their time is going down, every second lasting for roughly 10 times its equivalence. See, maybe a second turns into a minute. So let's say every single second became a minute, and it's not a time freeze glitch, but it's a glitch in the source code which made it so that instead of the raid being 8 minutes long, it became 480 minutes long, which is the equivalent of 8 hours, and that would completely add up and correlate to how much time that they said that they were in the raid. So maybe this wasn't a bug after all, but it can be a glitch, and I have proof. So today we're going to be examining this. Here's Reina's gameplay. Rain, Cloudy, whatever you like to call this girl, this individual, in fact. So, see, the time is still at 24. So I believe that it's a minute. So let's still take my damage for instance. So I can do roughly 90, not even, I can do quite a lot of damage per minute. And at the very last minute, I managed to do even 100 million per minute. So let's say I can do 100 million per minute. 100 billion, sorry, 100 billion. Let's say at my peak, we'll do like 5 minutes of like nearing, and then I will hit my peak damage and I'll be doing consistently 100 billion minutes. So let's deduct 5 minutes. That leaves us with exactly 475 minutes to go. 475 times 100, 47,500. Okay, now when I say 100 billion, let's do that. 47,500 billion. That is the equivalent of 47 trillion and 500 billion. So I would be able to completely annihilate the Obsidian Guardian in the amount of time that they had. And yes, my prediction was true, because as you can see, exactly 1 minute later, time was down to 23. And what this proves is that I'm right. So basically, that's what happened to the timer. The timer, instead of counting minutes, instead of counting seconds, started counting minutes. And I'm not quite sure what caused this bug, but this is the exact same thing that happens when you go into an Anime Dimensions raid. Not raid. When you go into an Anime Dimensions Infinite. Once you reach the 1 hour timer, it resets the time. Because in the code of the game, there is a bug in which it does not calculate an hour. Instead of having an hour, the hour will be put to the side and we will reset from 000. So that is exactly the same kind of code that is at play here. And because I am a developer and former scripter, and I have friends who have formerly developed games such as Sailor Piece even, I have a friend who is a developer for Sailor Piece at the moment, and I have many more connections, so I can tell you all about this. Alright, so as you can see, this is a regular raid, right? Like, you can see at some point, the time with the 1 minute, you see the timer? It says 1 minute. And it's going down regularly. Time's going down regularly. So time goes down 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, until 59, 58, 57, 56. So you see now it went down to minutes. So I'm really confused how this works. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the timer, actually. I need to investigate this further. I'm thinking it has something to do with what the players are using. It could be because there's a Kirito. Not a Kirito. Whose character is that? King Asta. Because look, it froze down to 52, and then 52 slowed down really, really fast, and it took forever, and 51 took forever. So I think it's the combo, because when the game is registering an immense amount of combo, and with all these damage numbers on screen, I'm pretty sure it's freezing the server. You're lagging the entire server. So I can do this when I DDoS someone, right? I'm inputting packets into the server, and so that's the kind of thing that you call packet loss delay. So I think what's going on is the server is experiencing immense amount of lag, immense amount of packet loss, and that's why it's like sometimes freezing. So see, it's going back down, every second is a second. So I'm pretty sure they told me around 6 hours in this. If they spent 6 hours, then they did not spend 8 hours, which means that, see, it froze again at 30, and then 29 is going slow, and then it slows down to the point where every second becomes a minute. So it's really improbable. So I'm thinking it has a little bit of glitch, freeze, unfreeze, and that's what kept it going. Because if it were to be 1 minute every second, then I'm pretty sure they would have left the game or disconnected far before time, because seconds could last, I believe the number of minutes that a second could last is quite a lot, and I know this makes absolutely no sense, but in plain video game logic, it's video game time. So let's just say like in game, you know, when you like read manga and like time passes, like that's kind of what's going on here. So yeah, we're back to 26, and you can see her best combo is 120,000. So let's say every single hit of hers is roughly 1 million. I'm not quite sure how much damage she's doing. I will actually slow it down and check. Let me try to read one of these numbers. 86, I don't know if that's 8 million or... I can't really count. Let me see. Oh, never mind. That is 34 million. Every single one of those 3 4s are 34 million. Okay, so let's imagine every single one of her hits are 34 million. And let me calculate 34 million times 120,000. And then here's Vortex showing that they're on the leaderboard. So yes, if she hit every single hit at 34 million, she would have done 4 trillion damage. And she did more than that. So we can assume that yeah, she roughly did 4 trillion. But that's like half of her damage because she did like 7 trillion, almost 8 trillion. So pretty much, one of the things that I also want to note on is the amount of players. So if you check the HP of the Divine Guardian, you'll be able to tell how many players were in the raid. In the raid, the Divine Guardian had approximately 38 trillion HP. And 38 trillion represents the max amount of players in a raid, I believe, because I don't think we can go to 40 trillion. And as I said, if I was in the raid and if I was doing damage, I would have been able to kill the raid boss. So yeah, here they are just LARPing in front of the glitched leaderboard because they feel like it. And I mean, Vortex is talking, Rain is talking, blah, 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 blah. They're very, very simple-minded individuals who did not do any math or did not think about anything. So when you were screen sharing this on call, I was zooming in on areas because I wanted to see things, as in like the time. I wanted to zoom in on this and that. And when you can see that he took 4 minutes, so maybe the time was going slow. The time was going right until it hit about 4 minutes and then it froze, because you can see Vortex's damage. You can see his rewards at 74 to 76, which is roughly 200 billion damage in difference, right? Give or take. And so that's a lot of time. So 200 billion, you can't do that in a couple seconds. That takes like a minute or two, pretty much 2 minutes. If we're going by the assumption that I could do 100 billion a minute after the first 5 minutes. So yeah, so they're at max rewards. Everybody hit max rewards because that is roughly 625 billion. So 625 billion damage is the max rewards. So after that, just quit the game because any more damage than that is irrelevant. So that's why there's a leaderboard. If there wasn't a leaderboard, then we'd be back in old time AD. Old time AD, believe me, I used to have max rewards every single raid. And we didn't have a leaderboard for that. So what I did was I ran around with the boss because the boss would follow me and I would rage bait players till they would get so mad to the point that they would even call me fatherless. Or they would be like, stop doing that. So yeah. So here are the pictures that I gained from the leaderboard players of today. Today's best players versus the players of old time. It's like Gojo, the new sorcerer, versus like Sukuna. Sukuna will win. So I do with that info as you will. And yeah, here are all the screenshots. Here are the timestamps. Here are pretty much like their max rewards. So I was analyzing every single one of their screenshots and everything. We're going to ignore the fact that Akame is a fanboy. Yeah, so as you can see, the damage they have reached in the game, also, it does not count trillion. So instead of trillion, you'll see 1,000 billion. 1,000 billion is the equivalent of 1 trillion. We can agree on that. So that's why it would be 1,000, 480 billion in those pictures, as opposed to 1 trillion, 1.48 trillion, right? Because the game in the leaderboard system doesn't calculate that. It doesn't calculate past billion because Cool Bulls never intended it to. And believe me, I didn't intend it to either. So I'm very, very mad with these people who are LARPing their entire collection because I feel like this is, honestly, I don't like it. I just don't like how they're acting like so accomplished and so smug over a glitch that I'm trying to figure out the basis of. because I myself have access to the game code and more, and I've realized that it's not so hard to make this happen, and I might be able to emulate this and reenact such a situation. So I wanted to redo a scenario and do like 40 trillion and kill the boss. I want to kill the raid boss. I want to do 38 trillion with my alts. But I have better things to do than waste my time on such a video game. At the moment, I have diploma exams until the 10th of August. So I will finish my last diploma exam on 10th of August, and then from there I might go back streaming, and I may glitch into the game files and freeze a raid myself, because I have just about enough knowledge to understand how this happened, and I'm pretty sure I can trigger it because I know how to fake the combo, and I know how to DDoS servers, and I know how to crash a server, and I know how to access packets and load and developer console, and all of that is very, very free. So yeah, here there's literally LARPing, like finally Joss. Like I don't like these people. Let me get it straight with you. They're American. And, well, I know Cloudy will be considered Canadian. Let her rage as a Canadian. She lives in Ontario. Toronto. Niagara Falls. That area. And yes, I will dox these people. I don't care. I don't care. Because why would I? And they can listen to this. They can listen to my voice and they can see how such a sick person I am, and they can try to take down my videos and take it down. Take it down. What does it do to you? Nobody knows your real name. Nobody knows anything about you. Did you know that they kept convincing me, because I made a video, to delete their names? Cloudy, don't mention my name, Cloudy. Don't mention the name Vortex. As if these names are somewhat incriminating evidence against them. No, I stand by what I say. And yes, this raid is a complete joke. Okay, my final opinion on this raid is that this should never have been allowed to happen, and Cool Bulls needs to get the hell on the game right now and fix this right now. Because I can't stand this. This is crap, and they're just flexing this crap, and they need to ban VOIDSENSE, they need to ban Akamid, they need to ban every single one of the following names that I might put on screen or I might not. Because I might just feel generous enough, and I'm pretty lazy. I guess I won't put them on screen. But every single person above the level of 208. Okay? Let's just settle it at that. 208. And I'm being really, really generous because I don't believe a single person has reached level 208 legit. In fact, I think the only level that has been reached legit is probably like 202. 202 to 205, I accept as top leaderboard. However, anything past that is absolutely ridiculous. And believe me, simply proof that these people hack. And believe me, another thing that's proof of these people hacking is when you go into the daily raid challenge and you see that their name is always on the daily raid challenge the second that the daily raid retries, such as VOIDSENSE doing approximately 70 billion damage every single raid reset. And you know why he doesn't take the time to change the characters to get the bonus, or why he doesn't do the max damage as he can? It's a script, and this script can auto daily raid challenge, and he has it on, and I've collected so many screenshots, so much evidence over the last week, even just the last week, that prove that this man is a pure scripter. I even have the script dealer himself corroborating on this. So believe me, I'm right. And these people deserve to get a life. I think that's what they should do. Get a life. I'm not going to say anything mean to them, nothing hurtful. Get a life. Void lives in Russia somewhere, and he's honestly a very depressed man, and he's got nothing going well for him. So I would say maybe get a life, get a wife, get a job, leave. Leave the house and stop playing on a dead video game and flexing on a dead video game. Anime Dimension Simulator is dead, and it has been dead. Also, that's Libra Love. That's my friend. They're so cool. They're Japanese, Nihon. I don't know. I was LARPing as a Japanese, and they saw that, but I'm learning. So, yeah, thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu. And yeah, so this is Vortex's entire screen recording. That's Cloudy's Discord. And, well, it was. She changed everything, of course. She does not want to be known. And, yeah, that's us on a video. That's on a song call. That's their videos. As I can see, their timestamps, their combos. So as I said, if it was me playing, I would do a lot more damage and I would have been able to kill the raid boss within... I could actually calculate that right now. In fact, it's very easy to calculate. 380 minutes. 380 minutes, okay? Divide that by 60. So now you have 360, right? Which is 6 times 6, 360. That's 6 hours. 6 hours and 20 minutes. It would have taken me 6 hours and 20 minutes to kill a raid boss. And believe me, when I try to kill a raid boss when I'm AFK, and I do kill a raid boss, it respawns. It respawns roughly 5 seconds, 10 seconds later. It respawns. It respawns, and killing it's a waste of your time because in the code it will respawn because it doesn't manually end the raid, I believe. In fact, it will end the raid. What it does is the raid ends. The raid ends. That's why one time the boss didn't load in for me and the raid just simply ended. And that is because of my Canadian Wi-Fi, and I'm real Canadian. Raid time froze. No, they don't know what they're talking about. It's a lot more than raid time. It's the game tick code freezing. It's the code that calculates the seconds that is in the game, that calculates the time that's inputted into the game to tell the game that time has passed. It's not simply raid time freezing. And I don't know how to explain it to idiots like these because I can't. That's why I made a video. And Lex misses you. Yes, I do miss you, Libra. I do miss you, bro. And thank you for joining my server. If you want to join my Discord server, nerd out about snats, nerd about anything, learn calculus with me, have me teach you in any subject, I got you. And if you want to listen to some Khalil ASMR, some mommy ASMR as well, some OG category ASMR, yeah, we got you. And if you want to listen to my depression playlist or any kind of like cool songs or cool hits, that I got you too. And I got you with anime, I got you with movies, I got you with anything really. And yeah, so these people are so obsessed with the leaderboard that they spend the next 3 hours talking about it. They spend the next weeks talk about it. They spend months talking about it. And I said once, hey, I'm gonna get 600 billion, I'm gonna reach max rewards. I reach max rewards, I can do max rewards without even without a boost. I can do over 625 billion without boost. So you know that I can do a lot more than my best. My highest without a boost is 640 billion. If I'm able to do 640 billion without a boost, and I'm talking about the SATIRE boost from his move, which is roughly, I believe, like, it's crit chance and it's like 15% attack or so. And yeah. No, GG guys, GG guys, you know damn well that this is war. Everyone's fighting these guys, and I'm not on their side either.